Hey, it's 7 Grains of Salt. More telethons? Oh, well, it was one thing to see the Friends had that one telethon, and we also had, Lady Gaga and the One World Together at Home with all the others. Exactly my thoughts. Of course, calling us global citizens. No, be proud of where you live. Learn your country's history and be proud and learn it. Learn about whether it's had good history or bad history. Just learn about the truth. But also remember that you are, once you've accepted Christ into your heart, you are a king's kid. He washed away all our sin, and one day every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that he is Lord and Savior of all. Just a reminder of that. But anyway, even Finland is following suit with this trend, and here's just a short clip.
Koko jengi jakaa sama. Ollaan yhtä sydämessä, uuden edessä.
And if it's not the most popular singers here in the country, then it's also the choirs have come together and done the exact same thing. And of course, even the symphony orchestra has made a video as well of them being quarantined and playing together as one. And I'm not saying they're not catchy, and you might even like them, but it's the same thing. Talking about being one, being in quarantine, and we're going to get through this together. So I just wondered, well, what was next? So I started digging. I really thought this was over. But no, they had these last year. They had the same telethon last year. And here you can see all of those that they actually wanted to mention that were here and are a part, or were a part of the one last year. So they are continuing this. There's probably one going to be this year as well, in September. I'll add, of course, all the links. Well, then I happened to notice this. And this is coming up, the 2nd of May. Well, wouldn't you know? Let's take a look. I did leave out a few seconds. I don't want it to get taken down, but there you go. Join us today, Rotary, to end polio now. Well, I was reminded by Truth Unedited exactly who runs this world, and I'm just going to show you a short clip.
Last year in 2019, the report shows that the world's 26 richest people own as much as the poorest 50%. Basically, 26 people control 50% of the world's wealth. 26 out of 7 billion plus people. That is a ridiculous gap in wealth. Anyone that thinks that it's impossible that there are a group of people that can run this world just aren't using common sense.
Enough play. When you think of secret societies, you think of groups of rich old men, like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, sitting around a ridiculously long table, all trying to top each other with their best diabolical laugh. It makes for a fun cartoon, but in reality, such societies and secretive meetings do exist, and one is going on right now behind closed doors in England. The Bilderberg Group is a meeting of the most influential people in Europe and North America. Wall Street investors, business moguls, politicians, royalty, they're all coming together and keeping the media and everyone else out. What are they discussing? What are they plotting? Doesn't the public have a right to know? Well, apparently no, though what they chat about could very well end up impacting your 401k or who knows what else.
So to understand this, we need to go back in time. Now, to really understand the full extent of power, we should go back to the power of the Knights Templar and the gold and power that has been transferred over generations, all the way until we see the rise of the Rothschild dynasty. But they truly need a video by themselves, and right now, I am not led to do one. So I'm starting with the more easier to see power structure that was built in America after the Civil War. This is where we see the Rothschild banks in the United States funding American enterprises. I won't even go into families like the Astors, who pretty much own New York City, while we see Astoria in Queens or elite hotels like the Waldorf Astoria. We don't need to go back that far. I won't go into the Vanderbilt Empire, who controlled our railroad system, whose Grand Central Station in the heart of Manhattan was built to be a physical symbol of the wealth and power of the Vanderbilt family. You think that the United States government built our railroads and our bridges? No, not in the beginning. What we will talk about are the Rockefeller family, the House of Morgan, and the influence of Andrew Carnegie. Now, I'm not going to give you a full history of these families. There are books you can read, like David Rockefeller's memoirs, or The Rockefellers, An American Dynasty, or The House of Morgan by Ron Chernow. The point is that these were very rich men, and like that show says, they built America. You cannot say oil without saying Rockefeller. He controlled 90% of the North American oil supply. When his company Standard Oil was accused of being a monopoly, he built all the separate companies of Exxon, Amoco, Mobil, and Chevron. All very separate companies, but all owned and controlled by him and his family. When you say JP Morgan, you of course know banking, but you don't think about companies like General Electric and AT&T and many more. Andrew Carnegie spread what he called the gospel of wealth, basically spending his money to influence society. These were very powerful men. Now,
when we have a government that works for the rich and the powerful and leaves everyone else behind, it's corruption pure and simple.
Do we think that this is something that is only recent? Do we think that the richest men in the country were not buying politicians at the height of their power? In the History Channel series, they even admit that this was done in the election of McKinley in 1896. Episode 7 of the series showing J.P. Morgan saying, "We have to buy our president."
It's a Democrat rally. He's a prohibitionist and a devout Presbyterian. According to him, Darwin's theory of evolution is a pack of lies. He's an enemy of the gold standard and an enemy of big business. It is certain that he will win the Democratic nomination. What do you think?
The Republican Party has a good candidate.
No. We have to buy our own president.
The Titans throw their full support behind the candidacy of Ohio Governor William McKinley.
Much appreciated. This is McKinley's speech that he'll be giving at the Republican convention. Make sure he sees it in time. Understood.
We are led to believe that we have voices and that we have choice. But the truth is that they have yielded their wealth, influence, and power to give us an illusion of a voice and choice. But it's all directed by their unseen hand.
And, well, speaking of rich people, we have to look at Bill Gates. And who says it best but truth?
Billionaire Bill Gates' philanthropic work is always presented as a wonderful charitable thing for humanity.
I have seen people worship Bill Gates in public, in real life. I've seen it with my own eyeballs. The way that some people worship religious figures is the way that I have seen actual human beings in present reality worship Bill Gates in real life.
God, oh my God, oh my God!
I've seen it for myself, and he knows it too.
You were so nice. It was really special to me because you've been such a big influence on my life. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I've looked up to you like...
And it's really kind of a sick interchange. It really is one of the sickest things it's one of the sicker things I've seen in real life, actually. Bill Gates is one of these people. He's given away billions of dollars and people are worshiping him for it.
Despite the fact that A, Gates never seems to see a drop in his personal net worth no matter how much money he gives away.
This year, for example, he gave away $35 billion and didn't have his personal net worth drop at all. He's making decisions that affect the entire world. No one voted for him. He's got billions of dollars, and it doesn't even change his bottom line in his bank account, okay?
So how I see it is if you want to give money to these telethons, you're basically giving your money straight to these people right here. And all these entertainers are being told to sing by these people. They say jump, And the singers, the entertainers are saying, how high? That's how I'm seeing it. They own a lot of things. So keep that in mind with these telethons. Really, it even says in the Bible to be careful where you put your money and where you sow your seeds. So anyway, much more to come. God bless. Have a great day and see you soon.